Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are once again back on the dev server for updates line of contact, and we're having a look at a lot of the extras in this video for airplanes and also helicopters. There isn't a ton for helicopters, so I thought I'd just kind of throw them in here with this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. Also like the video. We'll start off with the B-25. So all of the B-25s are getting their flight model updated, and also their fuel distribution across tanks has been streamlined as well when it comes to all the fuel stuff. There's also a few of them, including the Russian B-25 and the B-25J20, which are getting access to an updated cockpit model, which seems to maybe do something with enlisted, since the B-25 is being added to enlisted in this form. You can see here that it actually has some curtains on the top of it. You also have access to a new pilot setup with the movie stickies, and I know a lot of people have been asking for well, basically bomber cockpits for ages, and here is one in full detail, looking absolutely stunning in every single way. So hopefully the sim guys enjoy this, and hopefully a lot of the other guys who enjoy these things enjoy it too. All of the dials work, of course, and one of the coolest things is there are buttons, and everybody loves buttons. Number one, you have the guns button. Then also, if you see down there, you have the release bombs button. So if you hit the release bombs button, it will actually literally release the bombs. So you can see there, you can actually hit both of them. They can do their own thing, which is just really cool in general for the vehicle. So yeah, a new updated cockpit for this thing, which should be really fun, since the vehicle itself is generally pretty fun too. So let's talk about the helicopter changes. Not a massive amount of them, but basically they've taken all of the Alouettes and all of the Cobras, and they have updated their models again in terms of their X-ray and their damage models. So you know how they added in like all of the modules in them? Well, now they more correspond to what you can actually use in terms of functionality. So for example, the flight control system, if it fails, this is what it destroys. You can see the flexible turret has been fully modeled. And also these avionics blocks, they all correspond to a specific thing, which is here. So the MFD hood, the RWR, the NVD sensors, and so on for the vehicle itself. So this is for all Cobras and all Alouettes. And I think it's just nice. You know, it's just a nice little addition. And they continue to upgrade the damage models of a lot of these vehicles. So let's talk about some of the other changes to aircraft. There's quite a lot of them that have turned up. So first of all, we have a bunch of new Eurofighters, right? Each Eurofighter tech tree, Italy, Germany, and Britain gets a new Eurofighter. But there is also changes happening to the previous Eurofighters in each of the tech trees. The Eurofighters are getting access to the dual pylon for the AIM-120Cs and also the AIM-120Bs. This means that they can bring along 8 AIM-120s instead of 6, which was previous, which obviously is quite a large deal. Also, the A6M3, there was a bug where the fuel tank couldn't actually get dropped. Now it can get dropped. So there you go. There's a little bit of an addition to that. Another thing that has also been added for all Su-25s is with the Su-25s now, what you can actually do is you can separate launch of flare and also chaff. So if you only want to fire chaff, you can only fire chaff. If you only want to fire flares, you can only fire flares, which I think is a nice little addition to this too. So that, for me, is pretty cool. The Su-7s also got something new to them. Not really anything that's too huge, but they got fuel tanks added. So now you have drop tanks in the whole Su-7 series. You can see here they're on the Su-7B, and they give quite a lot of an additional fuel, 820 liters, which shouldn't be kind of sniffed at. I think generally that's quite nice. There's also a lot of changes to low-tier Russian stuff. So the Lag 3-4, which I don't even know if I actually have, the Lag 3-4 is one of those which I'm pretty sure was one of the very early vehicles that was given out to people in the alpha of War Thunder. That one, the number of rounds that the ShVAK 7.62 has been reduced from 800 to 650 rounds, so a lot less, but all of the other lags have also been changed too. So the 3.4, the 3.8, the 3.11, the 23, 35, and 66, the number of rounds for the ShVAK cannon has been increased. So instead of it being 150, it is now 160, which I think is pretty awesome. Because, you know, they kind of need it, especially since that's the main gun that they use for those things. The SU-9 and also the SU-11, which you can find here. These vehicles have also been slightly changed in terms of their weaponry. So the number of rounds that the NS-37 forward cannon has been reduced. So instead of it having 40 rounds, which is what it had before, it now only has 30 rounds, which is in the vehicle. So that kind of sucks for it, but once again, it does hit like a truck, so generally I wouldn't say that's too much of an issue in terms of the vehicle itself. Looking at some other changes to vehicles, there's quite a lot of bug fixes that have happened. The F2A ADTW, or a TDW, sorry, there was a bug where the central drop tank was always displayed in the X-ray mode. They have fixed that. For all of the Jaguars, there was a bug with their drop tanks not being displayed. They fixed that. And then also, the F-15C Golden Eagle, there was a bug that caused the IR page of the MFD to be missing while installing the AN/AAQ-33 sniper pod, and they have fixed that too. So just little things that they have done right there. They have changed massively a British vehicle in the Chinese tech tree, the Gladiator Mark I. It actually used to be different from the other Gladiators in the British tech tree because it had an all-metal 3-bladed propeller. Now it's just got a 2-bladed wooden one. So that's kind of sad. Lost a little bit of interest there. But also what you can do is by clicking on vehicles in the hangar now, you can actually make them move and move around. So, you know, a little bit there, a little bit over. The J8A also has something funny. Guess what? They stole the propeller from the Chinese and they gave it to the J8A. So the J8A now actually has the 3-bladed metal propeller instead of the wooden one. So they obviously just put them on the wrong vehicles. Also, the MB326K, they've made it so you can see the machine gun pods in the cockpits where before they were invisible. And they've also changed the Quadriarma, which is actually quite a fun little event vehicle from back in the day, or maybe a battle pass vehicle, I can't remember. But they've added some armor to it. So it has some bulletproof glass, 50mm on it. And then also they've added some steel between or behind the pilot. This gives it actually a lot more survivability than previously. And also with the rounds that this thing has, with the Breda Safat, and also with the 20mm, it actually will work pretty well in terms of the vehicle. Now, there is also some other changes, some bug fixes with the Russian vehicles. So the Yak-28B, the MiG-21 F-13, the J-72, MiG-21 PFM, and also the Su-7s and MiG-19s. The J-6s also benefit from this, and the A-5s and the Q-5s. There's a bug that prevented the maximum thrust being displayed on the X-ray. So you can actually see how much these things are actually able to do. They also fixed the boomerangs. Some of you guys may have actually noticed this over the years, but there's been a problem with the boomerangs. They actually overheat really quickly once you take off. They've actually fixed that, so now you won't have to manage the engine straight away, which means that these will actually be able to get to the capability that they're supposed to do, which I think is actually kind of cool. The DB3s, so in the Russian tech tree, there's some bombers in the early ranks. The DB3s actually got some AP bombs recently that, you know, I haven't researched out. But what they've done with these is there was a bug that caused a constant roll to the left side, regardless of aircraft control type. So basically, you weren't able to stop the roll. They have now fixed the roll, which is quite good. They also have an RWR page on the MFD has been updated for the H1Z. Also, the Rafale HMD has been updated, and also the FA-18's HMD has been updated too. So pretty much you just get some nice little additions which make these things look really cool. And you can see here how amazingly technical nowadays a lot of War Thunder is in terms of how it all goes. Like, it's crazy to me when I think about where War Thunder is now compared to where it was, even without the infantry additions, without everything else going on. Absolutely nuts that this is the case for it. But yeah, pretty cool to see all of these additions. Pretty cool to see the new FA-18E cockpit, which also has the HMD on it, and also all of the AMRAAMs going in to destroy the poor MiG-15. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.